All right, let's get rocking and rolling tonight. Here we go. Let's see how fast we get up live. Okay. Okay, now we're up. Let's everybody jump on and get it working here tonight. All right, Melissa. Hello, Melissa. Hello, Woody from Cape Cod and Rhonda. Melissa said it's going to be fire tonight. Hello, Julie. Minnesota. Yes, what a day. Hey, Jay from Canada. How are you? Yeah, we have some fire, huh? Let's see. Connecticut. Melbourne, Australia. Dean, good to see you. Let's see. Ken from Orlando, Florida. Orlando-ish. Let's say that. Susan from upstate New York. Hello. Let's see. Mimi. Hello, Mimi. Hi, Mimi. How are you tonight? Everyone's jumping on because the news was crazy right from the start today. Jason from Kentucky. Hello. Kathy from Pennsylvania. Hi, Kathy. You're a great practitioner up there. Let's see. Lady Smith, British Columbia, Canada. Nice. Andrew, how are you, buddy? Ghislaine didn't kill herself. That is probably true. Kimmy, Minnesota. I have an interesting theory on Ghislaine in her and what's going to happen to her. Terry from Los Angeles. Hello, Terry from Los Angeles. How are you? Let's see. Aaron from Southern Indiana. Louisa. Louisa, you're the best. Michael from Jacksonville. Michelle, hello. What's up to you? How are you? Huge today. Byron from Alberta, Canada. I have my Alberta patients now, or my Canadian patients now. If you want to work with me, this is the website. Boom, boom, boom. I have like a 4-week waiting list now. It's insane, but I love helping everybody. I have my Australian patients, have my Canadian patients, and then I have my good old American patients as well. So it's all good. I have a couple videos to show you guys tonight. Would you like to see the videos? Because they're pretty crazy. Would you like to first see a motivational video? Would you like to first see a motivational video? Well, first of all, hi, I'm Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network, your source for health, freedom, and knowledge. And I would like to show you a video that I think is kind of cool. And after today's boom, I think it's appropriate that we see this video. So let's check this one out. You might have seen it, you may have not, but let's check it out.
What truly matters is not which party controls our government, but whether our government is controlled by the people. For too long, a small group in our nation's capital has reaped the rewards of government, while the people have borne the cost. The establishment protected itself, but not the citizens of our country. That all changes, starting right here and right now.
Okay. Was that motivation enough that we are going to get our country back? I really enjoyed that. That's a little pump you up for tonight to let you know we are alive and well, right? And we are headed in to the 4th of July weekend, which is so important. But let me get to the very, very important stuff tonight, and that is, do you know about this lady Ghislaine Maxwell? Yeah. So Ghislaine, by the way, if you didn't see it this morning, she was arrested by the FBI. Now, I'm gonna have to probably do a couple episodes on the Epstein thing, because it kind of fell off, right? Like, everyone forgot about it. Everyone kind of like loses track of what's going on because that's what they want you to do. And then there was an article out months ago, right after Epstein died. Whether he died or not, I don't know. Some people told me today that he might be the trump card, that Epstein is actually not dead. But anyway, either way, Ghislaine was still on the loose, and she was kind of untouchable. And everyone said, well, why is she not in jail? Because she was the one that was procuring all the girls for Epstein. Now, this is what I want you to know. First of all, yes, she absolutely should be arrested. She should be in jail. She should be executed as far as I'm concerned. Does anyone agree with me? I don't like jail for her. I want death penalty. I want execution. Because even if she didn't do the harming, she actually was setting up the harming. So in my book, that is still disgusting, and she has to be taken down. That's my personal belief on that. So now, but this is what I need you to know. I posted earlier, Ghislaine could do anything from take a plea deal by talking and giving up everything. Now, I don't know if they're into making deals. I don't know if they're doing deals or not. However, this is the real thing. Ghislaine is not, well, so first of all, Jeffrey Epstein, as much as we all despise him and what he did, he was not actually the one that was in control and in charge. So you can go after him all day, but he was simply a puppet. That's all he was. He was a puppet for Ghislaine, but actually, she's an operative too, and that's for the Mossad. So, what does everyone know what the Mossad is? The Mossad is essentially the Israeli, I guess you could call them CIA, FBI kind of thing, more CIA. Okay, they are the undercover agency that gets to work on intelligence. The problem is, if you knew John F. Kennedy couldn't stand the CIA and he wanted it destroyed, well, guess what? The Mossad is not even just as bad as the CIA. The Mossad is worse than the CIA. So, this is the issue. So, it's always hard to go down this road with people because people freak out. But this is where we find out that is Israel really the American ally? Or is Israel... Now, when I say Israel, I'm not talking about the Jewish people. I'm talking about the Israeli government. As you might hear, the word Zionist comes up a lot, okay? The Zionists are a whole different thing than the actual people in the country of Israel, the state of Israel, I guess you could say, right? So, Ghislaine was part of the Mossad. They were controlling Epstein, and Epstein was being used to get politicians, executives, CEOs into really bad positions to blackmail them. So basically, lure them in, bait them with everything from drugs, sex, kids, you name it. And once they nail them, now they own them. And that is why your government is owned. So do not be shocked when not only the Democrats in Congress fall, but at least a third, half, 2/3 of the Republicans in Congress fall. Because I even told you on a previous episode that I think he's passed away, a former male escort who used to run escort services for Congress people, said that 2/3 of your Congress was guilty of running escort services. Now, those are the same people that are most likely bought and paid for by the Mossad, which is Israeli intelligence. So this is why I said, if you look at Q, if you go to qmap.pub and you type in Israel, there is a Q drop that says Israel will be dealt with last. Because I will tell you, let me make this very clear as we go through this quote unquote Great Awakening. If all this happens and everything is taken care of, and there's all this these unsealed indictments, and Barr does his thing and Durham does his thing, if all that goes down, but the gold fringe doesn't leave the American flag and Israel's not dealt with, guess what? The job isn't over. The job isn't over until that gold fringe comes off the flag and Israel is dealt with, because Israel runs the show. And that's really hard for a lot of people to understand, a lot of people to confront and grip, because we've been sold this story that Israel is our greatest ally. Yeah, Israel is the deep state's greatest ally. That's how it works. The Israeli people don't even like what's going on there. There's a reason why Israel and Palestine are constantly always battling back and forth. You know why? Because there's a little party on top of them that continues keeping them battling back and forth, right? It's kind of like when you're in school, or maybe even now when you're an adult, when you're in school and all of a sudden you and your friend for some reason started bickering for no reason. Like you're just battling back and forth and like you're fighting, and it wasn't normal, right? And then you come to find out that maybe one of the other friends or someone you didn't know said something to your friend about you, right? Behind your back. Maybe it was, okay? And the next thing you know, you're fighting back and forth. This is how this works. Palestine and Israel shouldn't even be fighting. They should actually very easily come to peace. The problem is you have Israel. The problem with Israel is not the Israeli people. The problem is the Rothschilds and the bankers who are controlling Israel. And the Rothschilds and the bankers are not Jewish. So get that one out of your head. And yes, I do not know fully about Jared Kushner. Everyone has asked me this. I don't fully know. I know he bought a property in New York City that's on 666 is the address. Again, I don't like it either. But I've also read a lot of people say that it doesn't matter what's going on around Trump, they still do believe he is in charge and 17 steps ahead. Let's call it that, right? Now, there is also a possibility, right? Now, today, when the Ghislaine stuff came out, if you go on Twitter, there's tons of stuff on Twitter talking about, well, you know, not only does Epstein have pictures with Bill Clinton and Ghislaine, because apparently Ghislaine had cheated with Bill Clinton. I don't know how that all works, but clearly Bill hates his wife, so we know that's not shocking. He doesn't really like his wife, so we're not totally shocked there, right? But there's also pictures of President Trump, obviously with Epstein as well. There's some there. Supposedly they came to parties. He had them there and then he threw them out. Now, I will tell you, there's two things that could happen here. There's two things that very possibly happen. It's very possible, and you guys have to keep this in mind too, because let me tell you, you know how they say God does not pick perfect people to lead the charge? It is very possible that President Trump at one point flipped or is being used to carry this out, because there are a couple stories out there that President Trump was not the best person and might have done a couple things he really should not have been doing. But what if the military came to him and said, if you don't run and do what we need to do, then we will actually set you up as well? I don't know. I'm just saying it's a speculation. But either way, we know that Ghislaine is very, very bad. Now, the other interesting thing is, and I don't remember her name off the top of my head, I think it's Sarah Kellen. I think it's Sarah Kellen. Sarah Kellen is also not being tracked down. Now, Sarah Kellen, you can go look up that name. Let me look that name up again. Let me just make sure I have that name right. Because this name becomes very important. Yes, it's Sarah Kellen. Ready. Now, has anyone heard Sarah Kellen's name before? Because this is a very important name. Now, Sarah Kellen was actually Ghislaine Maxwell's right-hand assistant, who also helped procure young women for Epstein and other people like the former presidents. Now, why do I bring up Sarah Kellen? Well, Sarah Kellen's initials are on the Lolita Express flight log. Now, let's take it a step deeper. Why is Sarah Kellen such a big problem? Here we go, because no one, apparently people don't know who Sarah Kellen is. Ready? Sarah Kellen happens to be married right now to Brian Vickers, who is a NASCAR driver. So, is it interesting that we just had a crazy NASCAR story running where they were using racism to push an agenda, and Sarah Kellen is married to NASCAR racer Brian Vickers. Now, I'm not saying there's anything here. I just think it's very fascinating how these things, the world connects like this. Is she being used in that world to do things? I don't know, but we do know that NASCAR is not the same sport as it used to be. So, anyway, the FBI is going after everything Ghislaine Maxwell at this point. So, meaning, if you didn't see it, they had a press conference today from the DOJ, and they put out a phone number. If anyone has any information at all on Ghislaine or anything associated with her, you turn it in. They also showed 3 properties, okay? One was Little St. James Island or whatever it is. Another one was, I think, in South Florida, and another one is out south in the Southwest. So this is where everything happened. This is where everything went down, and I would not be surprised if they have all the videotapes, which is kind of not going to be good. I'm curious how they show the public this. Now, let me take it a step deeper, okay? Now, we know Epstein, we know Maxwell, now you know Sarah Kellen. Let's go a step deeper. Does everyone know who Ghislaine Maxwell's dad is, or Ghislaine Maxwell's father is? Well, let me show you if you don't know. Here you go. This is Robert Maxwell. Now, this came out a long time ago. This is not necessarily anything new, but they don't show it, okay? They don't necessarily show it. However, Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Robert Maxwell, actually committed suicide possibly, or was it an accident, right? You can actually read through this article. So he, at one time, everyone knew where to find Ghislaine. The former aide-de-camp of disgraced, now deceased billionaire Jeffrey Epstein was a fixture in Manhattan's most fashionable salons with an impressive list of contacts, including Prince Andrew. So do you think Prince Andrew is going down? Probably. And Chelsea Clinton. She was a regular at fundraisers, book launches, and society weddings. Okay? Now we go down farther. The press baron Robert Maxwell fell to his death from his $15 million yacht, Lady Ghislaine, off the Canary Islands, age 68. And there's now talk of suicide or murder, perhaps by the Mossad. Look at that. The Israeli intelligence service. Okay? He did not want to be in jail. Okay? And he didn't want to face jail because he was shown to be a liar and a thief, and he very much knew that was coming. He knew they were coming after him. So, it's most likely he threw himself off his yacht. He was being chased down by the Israeli intelligence, the Mossad. Okay? Now, can anyone else guess what the Mossad's been involved with? So this is where it gets really, really dicey, okay? Can anyone name to me the event that the Mossad, and I have books back here that show how this works. Does anyone know what other event the Mossad was involved with? I'll give you a second to answer that. So who knows what other event the Mossad was involved with? I'll give you a hint. It was false flag. Okay. Oh, someone nailed it already. Good job, Cheryl. Cheryl nailed it. Yes, the Mossad helped pull off 9/11 with Saudi Arabia. Yeah, Osama bin Laden had nothing to do with 9/11. Saddam Hussein had nothing to do with 9/11. Now, I'm not saying those two are good guys. I'm just saying they had nothing to do with 9/11. All right? Nothing to do with it at all. So anyone who tells you that they were, most people don't know the real story. So this is what I think that's going to happen to Ghislaine. Okay, now, I know that the memes went crazy today in the fact that everyone said, oh, well, Ghislaine didn't kill herself. Ghislaine didn't kill herself. I think at this point, if Ghislaine Maxwell suicided herself in prison, I think everyone might get close to rioting because the memes that came out after Epstein died, I don't know if he's dead or not, really. Okay. The memes that came out after he supposedly died, people are waking up. Even some of the sheep don't believe that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself or he was murdered, whatever it is, right? Or even those people think that maybe he didn't die at all. Even the sheep know, all right? If Ghislaine Maxwell dies, people are going to flip. They're going to flip. There's no way. I mean, I would be stunned if they do it again and that she dies off. That would be stunning to me because I just don't think they have it in them. Well, now, could they be somewhere else? Could they be in witness protection? Who knows? But I will tell you, we're now waiting for the clock on when she upends Prince Andrew, because does anybody believe that Prince Andrew doesn't sweat and that he never knew any of these people and he didn't remember being in any of these locations and he didn't remember the whole conversation he had with Jeffrey Epstein outside of his Manhattan apartment? How fast does Ghislaine either flip or just give up everything because they're probably going to hang her or a lethal injection or something along those lines? I don't know. But I will be blown away if they knock her off and if she dies mysteriously in prison, because the mainstream media is like hanging by a tiny little thread, right? There is no way they can keep their systems going and still promote the fact that she died in her prison cell or wherever she is. I would be absolutely stunned. Completely, 100% stunned. But it's possible. Let me show you a Twitter feed today from Major Patriot. Here we go. She's going down. She's going to take everybody with her. That's Jeffrey Greco, a New York criminal defense lawyer, said to phone call. They are going to ask her, who else did you provide these girls to? I think that she is going to start talking. Now, the other thing is, did everyone remember that the attorney was taken off the Southern District of New York, their district, right? Right after that, I mean, that was what? 2 weekends ago, I think it was. 2 weekends ago. That's when that happened. I remember I was out of town 2 weekends ago. I learned of that news. And now, 2 weeks later, in New York, that's where all this stuff, that's where most of these files probably are, is in New York. That's where this goes down. And she was taken down in the Northeast, and I forgot which state. But Ghislaine is in a ton of trouble. Epstein, I don't know if he's dead or not, but if I was a congressperson right now, I would be sweating absolute bullets, because I believe that Ghislaine / Epstein could probably take down at least 2/3 to 3/4 of the whole system. That's how deep this goes. Now, again, what did I say? If the fringe doesn't come off at the end of this thing, and or Israel is not exposed, that I'm telling you right now, the game's not up. Because you have to have and I will be the first one to say, If we get to the end and they say, oh, you have everything, here's the Great Awakening, and Israel hasn't been exposed, I will say something about it. Because, and again, it's not Israel, it's the politicians, it's the bankers. The bankers are the problem. They overtook that state and they control the whole thing. Someone actually posted a thing of Alan Dershowitz earlier. I have zero. Hold on. Let me put my fingers up straight. Let me do this. Zero. The reason I can't do this anymore, if I do this, when I first did this, people told me I was in the Illuminati because of the 3 6s. I'm not. Okay, I'm not in the Illuminati. I'll do it straight up. Okay, do it like this. Zero. What? I don't even remember what I was saying. Okay. Zero. Whatever zero was. Okay. How Dershowitz? I don't trust Dershowitz at all. 0% chance he is innocent. I don't believe he's innocent at all. Okay, not at all. Now, can I tell you something crazy? Can I show you a crazy video? Can I crazy? And by the way, I'm going to keep reporting, obviously, on the Ghislaine stuff because this is not over. There's something else that I'm sure is going to happen. But yes, she's arrested. They have her. We're hoping this all shuts down, and I hope everyone goes down with her. But I have a couple things to show you here, which are quite interesting. Let's take a look at these. This one's very, actually, yeah, let me show you this one first. I have another one to show you, which I should have showed you before, but that's okay. Let me show you this one first, okay? Now, listen and look at the words very carefully when you see this quote and the person talking, okay?
Mental Acuity by Victor Davis Hanson, who wrote just prior to yesterday afternoon's Q&A this: Joe Biden is tragically suffering a mental eclipse and sliding away at a geometric rate. He went on to say the pale, scaly, and frozen visage of Biden appears almost reptilian, like a lizard freezing and remaining stationary as it struggles to process signals of perceived danger. His brain is like a flabby muscle, and restful disuse does not make it firmer.
So hold on. So did everyone see what he said? The key words in there. Did everyone see the key words? The key words were he's a lizard and he's scaly and a whole bunch of other stuff, which I thought was tremendous. Absolutely true. They are going to bust him so bad. And at this point now so this is the whole thing in the Great Awakening. How deep? Okay, let me ask you guys this question. I want a little feedback from you guys. How deep do you think this goes? Do you believe or do you think it goes as deep as reptilians? Because obviously that's what David Icke talks about. That's what he says all the time. Now, I tend to agree with him. I don't know if I agree with him on the exact way that he talks about it, but I do tend to agree with him that there's definitely something going on with quote-unquote reptilians. But after looking at that, do you believe that there's something else to this? And it's very possible that we have reptilians running this show in some way, shape, or form. So give me your little feedback on that, because I'm curious what everyone's saying. I want to know what you guys think of that. I think it's very important that we know this, because some people freak out. By the way, I'm going to show you, probably not tonight, but I'm going to show you a video soon. I actually found a pastor who is an older gentleman talking about this on YouTube, and he actually has a ministry on YouTube. I think he also has a ministry where he is. I think he's in the North Carolina area. But I found him today, and he is actually going back through the Bible, which I find fascinating what he's doing. And he is basically going back and he's defining the words in the Bible that most people don't know anymore. And he's proving out things that a lot of people think are crazy. So, for example, now, I don't know that he's talked about reptilians yet, but I've actually watched him today. He's got a 45-minute, I guess you call a sermon, where he talks about UFOs and how he can actually source them to the Bible. Now, I'm not going to say that I'll show you probably tomorrow what it is because I have to watch through a little bit more of it. But I think it's very fascinating. And I know a lot of people get really, really mad when I talk about reptilians because obviously they think that it violates biblical law, scripture, etc. This guy actually takes you through and shows you right where it is that most people just aren't reading it correctly. So I think about, yes, it's the door. So somebody mentioned it. Woody on Periscope mentioned the door. The door, now when you go search it, it's not going to pop right up. I tried this on actually a couple people in my office today, patients, asked me about it, okay? Like all of our patients know how I talk now, so they actually come asking me questions. And I went up and I showed one of the women the door, and I went to look it up on YouTube, and it wasn't like it didn't come right up. You actually have to go find it. And so what I'll do, maybe we'll paste a link there because this guy, he's not a young guy. He's actually probably, I'm gonna assume he's probably in his 70s. He looks like maybe genius. Like I will probably spend a lot of my weekend watching this man. Not one because of what he's talking about, but two, it's all scriptural. Like I'm very fascinated by studying scripture, but studying it for what it really means and taking all the words and going back to their original origin, right? And what they really mean, because some of the words they use don't mean what we know it as in English. You have to go back to the original definition, the original source, the derivation of what it is. And so I will show that, but I think it's fascinating. He actually started with the book of Ezekiel right in the beginning, and he actually started talking, and he actually goes through it and explains what he's talking about. And he strictly goes by biblical. It's not necessarily his opinion. It's literally just how it's read and what it actually means. Okay, so we'll do that later, but I wanted to tell you that because obviously after the Biden thing, when you're calling a reptilian on Fox News, the Great Awakening might be biblical. How many times have I told you the Great Awakening might be biblical? We might be dealing with some stuff that we didn't know we were going to have to confront. We didn't know we were going to have to deal with. It is that big. It could be that huge. Now, here we go. I'm going to show you some cool stuff here. Ready? I'm going to show you some cool stuff that I think was on this. I think was, I want to say last night. I don't know. You let me know. Either way, it's Tucker. And I don't think Tucker, maybe it was tonight. Let me check. Here we go. I'm going to show you.
Announced criminal charges against her for the years that she spent working for Jeffrey Epstein.
Today we announced charges against Ghislaine Maxwell for helping Jeffrey Epstein sexually exploit and abuse multiple minor girls from the period of 1994 through 1997. In some cases, Maxwell participated in the abuse herself. Maxwell enticed minor girls, got them to trust her, then delivered them into the trap that she and Epstein had set.
Maxwell has been all over the world recently, according to news reports, but authorities arrested her at an isolated home in central New Hampshire. Why? What was she doing there? What we know tonight is that Maxwell bought the house and the 156 acres it sits on last December. She bought it anonymously for $1 million in cash. Maybe now that she's under arrest, maybe she's on suicide watch tonight, we'll learn more about what she did for Jeffrey Epstein and what Jeffrey Epstein did. Where did all the money come from? And why were so many famous people always in the room? For example, the founder of LinkedIn, Reid Hoffman, was a close friend of Jeffrey Epstein's. Now he's a top donor to Joe Biden. Quite a moralizer, too. How much did Reid Hoffman know about what Jeffrey Epstein was doing? Will the FBI be questioning him? If not, why not? And what about the founder of Microsoft, Bill Gates? Gates made at least 3 visits to Jeffrey Epstein's townhouse. He called Epstein and his life, quote, intriguing in an email. That's intriguing on its own. Will we learn more? And what about former Harvard president and Obama administration official, Larry Summers, former Secretary of the Treasury under Bill Clinton? Summers flew on Epstein's plane and then got him to donate tens of millions of dollars to Harvard University, where Epstein did not go. And needless to say, there was Bill Clinton himself, who often flew on Epstein's plane and then lied about it. We deserve, in fact, we have a right to know what all of these people really knew about Jeffrey Epstein. Many mysteries yet to solve. Alana Goodman has come closer than most to getting to the core of it. She's co-author of the book A Convenient Death, The Mysterious Demise of Jeffrey Epstein. And
so there you go. That was what I wanted to show you earlier, and I mixed up the clips, so no big deal either way. However, this is going to be, when I say biblical, I don't mean biblical by big. I mean biblical by literally biblical, like what has been written, right? But the problem is your churches, and I shouldn't say your church, I should say the Vatican. Let's just get down to it. The Vatican, the Mossads of the world, the CIAs of the world, you name it, they have changed our history. They have changed our biblical history. The Bible was intended by its authors to explain to us as the instruction manual. It's supposed to be explained to us how everything works, right? Through being saved, through consciousness, through all of it. It's divine scripture. The problem is it's been altered. It's been extracted. There's been things taken out of it. And I will tell you, this is not to beat up my religious and spiritual friends tonight, but I have a lot of people who still say, or who still talk behind the scenes that, if it's in the Bible, are they reading it? And only if it's that's all they'll believe. They take it word for word. You have to know how to read it. You have to understand that all the words in English today are not what they meant a long time ago. You have to understand that books were extracted. They did not want you to know your origins. This is why they can't show you everything overnight. Everyone says, and we hear this almost weekly or every couple of weeks now, is it's going too slow. Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. And then you have days like this where you'll say Maxwell is taken down. If they told you tomorrow the 100% truth across the board, biblically, what really is going on, how the world really works, how the planet really works, guess what? You guys, a lot of us, would lose it. You would have people who would have heart attacks. I actually watched a part of this from somebody else on YouTube, and they literally said, it was another pastor, and said that if you found out what was really going on tomorrow, there would be people having heart attacks and not surviving because it would challenge everything we knew and learned, right? This is going to be biblical, which I'll touch on a little bit again at the end. But I want to touch on this first, and I want to go into the COVID numbers. Now, first of all, let me show you this article, okay? Because this article is very interesting. Let me first show you this one. Here you go. NPR, mounting evidence suggests COVID not as deadly as thought. Did the experts fail again? Now, we know they failed again, obviously. The experts did fail. However, if you go down, it actually goes into what they're talking about. Mounting evidence suggests that coronavirus is more common and less deadly than it first appeared. The evidence comes from tests to detect antibodies to the coronavirus in a person's blood rather than the virus itself. The tests are finding large numbers of people in the U.S. who were infected but never became seriously ill. And when these mild infections are included in coronavirus statistics, the virus appears less dangerous. The current best estimates for the infection fatality risk are between 0.5 and 1%, says Caitlin Rivers, an epidemiologist at the Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security. That's in contrast with death rates of 5% or more based on calculations that included only people who got sick enough to be diagnosed with tests that detect the presence of virus in a person's body. So how long, guys, are we going to allow them to tell us what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to do it when their own damn numbers are wrong and they're lying about it? That is Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security telling you that the numbers are fraudulent. The numbers are fraudulent. We've been telling you this from day one. Now let me take you to the other one. Let me take you to some statistics to show you what is happening. Okay, national overview. New tests up, new cases up, shocking. Hospitalizations mostly down. I'm going to show you a deeper graph on that. New deaths down. Those are the only two that matter. Now, let me go to the actual data. Let me show you what this is. Totals for deaths, right? Here we go. Oh, let me get the right one here. I need graphs. Here's our charts. Okay, here we go. U.S. daily tests. Let me go here. Here's the U.S. daily tests. So daily testing is up. We knew that. We knew daily testing is up. All right, let's go back. Let's go to daily cases. Daily cases, it's up. We're not shocked, right? Because they're testing more people. Right, now let's look at some interesting ones. Currently hospitalized. Now that was going down. Now it's a very small up, and that's actually on the tail end of this. I saw another graph. That's actually going down again. All right, it's going down again because yes, there might be a few hospitalizations because people take themselves to the ER, things like that. But let me show you the next one. Here is U.S. deaths. Look at that one. U.S. deaths. It is going down and down and down and down. This is what you need to know. This is what you need to see. This is how it actually works. And this, honestly, U.S. daily deaths is the only one you actually need to know about, right? Yes, testing is up. We get it. We know that's going to be up. Positives are going to be up because I told you how the tests work. The tests are both for antibodies as well as if you have it. And no matter which way you test, they're going to test you positive. But the only one that actually matters, is this one right here, which is going down to 0, right? Deaths are becoming non-existent. And that is how you find out when a pandemic is over. Just like I said the other day when I showed you the Ron Paul information and showed you how it was working and showed you that we no longer have a pandemic going on. Does everyone understand that? Because that is actually the only thing that counts. That is what fully counts. Now, here we go. I want to go back into this biblical thing as I finish off tonight. So, when I say biblical, this is, now I've dropped some names on you guys. I've dropped some words on you guys that are probably gonna freak some people out. Okay, and I think I said last night, Melania, right? I actually had a friend of mine who I talk to off and on. She's in South Florida, and she was watching the show this afternoon, but she was watching last night's show, and she messaged me and she said, "Did you say Palladians and Arcturians?" Because I said Melania, I believe, was either Palladian and or Arcturian or something like that, one of the two. Now, a lot of you may not know those two words. You have to look them up. Remember, I am going based on military and government documents. I'm not going based on just random stories online. All right? There are other species of extraterrestrials out there. Go listen to the pastor from the door who's, let me tell you, this guy is so good, by the way, that I'm thinking about like taking a little trip north, because I might go to this guy's church for a day just to say it, because he is speaking fire. Like, he is preaching, and he's not even preaching hard. He's just talking. He's just being common sense. But when I say biblical, you have to understand, and I don't love the show Ancient Aliens. Who watches Ancient Aliens? Okay, I've watched it before, but I don't watch it anymore. I don't love it because there's too much drama in it. They like extend things out way too long. It's just not like that exciting to me. However, when you have on cave walls UFO things in the air like the Jetsons, you know that there's more to this. So when I say it's biblical, I mean literally. You have to understand how the Bible is written. And if I lose people because they freak out over the fact that there's no way there's ETs and that's not possible, that's not what it says, I urge you, and I am not a biblical scholar, I urge you to go watch the pastor on YouTube. Subscribe to The Door. It's called The Door. You have to look it up. He's an older guy, gray white hair, long gray-white beard, okay? He's very logical. He's very common sense. I will be watching him this weekend because I find him completely fascinating. However, I have actually now read certain areas where President Trump and the military are working with Pleiadians. If you actually go look that up, there's actually pictures. Now, the pictures aren't real, but I think it's still quite comical that they're working with beings to make this thing go correctly. Now, if you ever heard my other one, President Eisenhower did the same thing, but in the wrong way. President Eisenhower, if you go back, look this up, President Eisenhower, he went off the grid for like a week, I think 10 days, something like that. And he met with off-planet beings and built a treaty, and that got us our technology today. We, human beings, we did not create this stuff. This was not our idea. This stuff was actually given to us in exchange for some other things which were not pleasant at the time, okay? Go look up the World War II. You got to go look that stuff up, okay? Or look at the Orion lines. That'll give you that information, all right? So it's important you understand because, as they say, I don't know if everyone is going to survive the Great Awakening. And I actually had a very biblically centered woman today said to me, she goes, now here, I'm going to really upset people. Here, I do this every once in a while. I know it's going to come back to haunt me. She said, and I'm not saying this is right or wrong. I'm just letting you know what she said. But we agreed. She said, the end of times didn't mean the end of the world. It meant the end of a time. And I actually agree with that. I believe we're coming to the end of a time of darkness, of people like Epstein, of people like Ghislaine Maxwell, of people like the Rothschilds, and the New World Order. And then we get to start a new time that is a time of peace. Now, is that Nasera, Jacera? I don't know. We've talked about it. I'll get back to it when I get more information and more news comes out about it that's important enough to explain. But in a biblical way, not everyone is going to make it forward, because this is literally biblical from a standpoint of universe biblical. They do not like us playing with nuclear weapons. They do not like us playing with nuclear bombs. It shakes up the rest of the frequencies and the energy of the universe. I told you, Tesla was in contact with other beings outside this planet. He was getting communication back from somewhere. He just didn't know how to translate it. So, like, this is just what he wrote. Like, I have books of Tesla where it says it in there. So, don't panic. Prepare. Just be prepared to expect anything imaginable. Okay? Okay, I'm going to show you one last thing. Now, before I show you this, I'm not saying it's her daughter. I'm not saying that there's even any connection or there's any relationship involved. However, I'm going to tell you, obviously this was going around on Twitter today, and I'm going to say I'm stunned at how close they look alike. All right, here you go. So, the woman on the bottom is your present press secretary for President Trump. The woman on the top, oh, wait, I got to show you. Oh, here you go. Sorry. The woman on the bottom is the press secretary. The woman on the top was JFK Jr.'s wife when she was younger. And it's a bit stunning how close they look. Now, she does not say that her mother is Carolyn Bassett Kennedy. However, there is definitely striking resemblance. I'm not saying it definitely is. However, I would say it's pretty striking resemblance. All right. Does everyone have a little fun with that? Because that it's pretty close. I mean, I can definitely see it. Now, if you go to like Wikipedia and look up her parents are not JFK Jr. and Carolyn Kennedy. So don't go look it up because I'll already tell you it says somebody else. However, I'm just saying I think it's interesting. All right. Just like with JFK Jr., if you ask me if he's alive, I say I don't think so, but you never know. And I hope he is. It would be really freaking awesome and really cool. But I don't know for sure. Okay. I just thought you guys would like to see that. All right. Okay. So while I'm here right now, two things as we finish off the show. All right. I'm going to show you the giveaway one more time before we go tonight. But for anybody who does want to work with me, because I'm getting a million questions and I'm happy to help everybody, question-wise, do me a favor, go here, thenoblepatriothealth.com. That is the place to go. That will get everyone filtered through so that I don't have to chase down emails anymore, because I was actually feeling really bad that we are behind on emails and missing emails. I don't want to do that. If you have a health challenge or you want help, I want to help you and I don't want you falling through the cracks. So if you have messaged me on Messenger, either through Revolution Network or Dr. Jason Dean or my personal page, or you've emailed me gethealthy@drjasondean.com and you have not received answer back, it's because we're trying to catch it all, but we didn't. It is best to go here now so that we get it all. And I literally printed off the whole list today and I took it over to my front desk person, and they're going to be getting a hold of you. So you'll get an email saying that we're going to be in communication to get you on the schedule. And then she will probably be in touch either by tomorrow or early next week, just because they're slammed. But I wanted to do that because I felt bad. I don't like missing things, and I want to make sure all of my noble patriots are taken care of, okay? Does that make sense? So if you want help, we're helping thousands of people across literally the planet, which I am very honored and blessed to do. And I'm so happy to be doing it and working with you all. And people are getting amazing results. And I was going to show you some successes tonight, but I totally forgot about it. So I'll show you those probably tomorrow, okay? But go here, noblepatriothealth.com. Now, here you go. Here's the other thing. Let me take you to the giveaway. If you guys haven't seen or you forgot, let me show you. Here it is. Boom! There we go. I'm so excited about this as well. And let me get up the website there. It is patriotgiveaway.com. It's coming up. 4th of July is around the corner. Dean Family Meat Delivery, as well as new things. By the way, 9 books, the Weston A. Price Foundation 1-year membership, and 2 flags, 2 real flags, not those little wimpy small flags, but 2 real flags. Betsy Ross Original, the colonials, the colonies, and the Black Q flag. How about that? Isn't that awesome? So get on there, go join it. There's more games to play, so check it out. Now, who has questions that I can help them with? I will do the best I can for the next couple minutes, and then we are going to wrap it up tonight, okay? Christina wants to win. So awesome. I agree, Christina. That's awesome. Good. What are the questions? Greg said he has no doubt that Carolyn and John are alive. He's on a mission. I would agree with that. I think that's really cool. Do I believe there are physical symptoms due to ascension? Are you tracking the Schumann's residence? Okay, here you go. Let me give you my personal story on ascension, okay? And consciousness, okay? Now, keep in mind, I'm letting you know, I believe there's a difference between your soul and being saved, as Christians talk about, and I agree with that, and consciousness, okay? I think there's 2 different things. From a consciousness standpoint, we as a mind consciously get better. We evolve, right? So, do people have ascension symptoms? Absolutely. I've had some myself. Now, can I say it's ascension symptoms? I don't know necessarily. I will just tell you, the next time I get more information that comes in that's very epiphany-like, or almost like revelation type, is I might get headaches. I don't get headaches, okay? But every once in a while, I'll get a blasting headache, and then like within a day, I'll have some new thing that I pick up on, and it's like mind-blowing, right? I will tell you right now, I have a lot of patients who are not sleeping. They are having trouble going to sleep at night. They are having trouble staying awake through or staying asleep through the night. And it's not because they don't want to. It's because the energy's off. I will tell you, my wife, who's also very intuitive, she has not been sleeping well lately. Like, she's sleeping, her body is sleeping, but she's not actually getting rest. And then she'll wake up and go back to sleep, and they'll change a bed. Like, she has issues with it. So there's definitely, I've definitely heard ascension, sleeping, headache, different types of symptoms. So if you have symptoms, it's very possible, yes. Can't find Sean Combs' book. I don't know. I just saw it on Barnes & Noble last night. I saw it and I thought it was crazy. Ooh, someone said Kay. That's actually really cool. Kay says, when I gave my life to Christ, I saw a vision of a dragon leaving me. Whoa. I didn't even know what a vision was. It was like I was watching TV. Kay, that's pretty freaking cool. Like, maybe you got rid of the reptilian spirit in you. That's pretty cool. Maybe you got that. I just think that's cool. Well done. Big win for you. That's really neat. Buy gold. Yeah, so Fred Deshevsky is coming back probably next week, I think Tuesday. So get ready for the gold and silver talk as well as the money. He's going to talk about the money and the economy, all right? Excellent. Is the storm upon us? I don't believe so. I believe the storm is still coming. Have trouble sleeping. What would I recommend? It could be many things. B vitamins. It could be melatonin. It could be a whole bunch of stuff. I can help you with it, but it depends on what it is, okay? So you can try different things on your own. That's fine. It just may or may not get there, okay? And I'm working on a stress formula. How about that? I'm being yelled at behind the scenes for a stress formula, so I got to come up with a stress formula for everybody, okay? I'm going to do that. Fawn has a headache this week and waking up more. Absolutely. Probably parasite. Yes, so guys, by the way, parasites, for all of you still out there, parasites are, be ready. You guys are going to experience bloating. You're going to experience digestive problems, sleeping issues. You're going to feel moody. You're going to have a whole bunch of, you're going to feel like a little out of it. You're going to feel a whole bunch of different things because 4th of July, 4th to the 5th is full moon. So it is parasite time, okay? Parasite time. All right. Margot's thanking me for talking about God. Why wouldn't we talk about God? Okay, I am not an atheist by any means. All right? I'm not an atheist by any means. I believe in a creator. Something made all this. And I call that God just like you call that God. Whether I don't necessarily think it's a guy with like, puffy, white, balding head and a beard. I mean, I'm not necessarily, I think it's that. I think it's more of an energy. Now, maybe it is a being of some kind. That's cool. But yes, absolutely believe in God. So you'll always get God out of me, for as far as I know. Okay? Let's see. Do wolves hear the moon making noise? Ooh, I don't. That's a good question. I assume you're asking me a moon question that I'm not really quite sure of, but I'm gonna have to look that up now because it sounds fantastic. Sounds like an interesting read. Let's see. You can dig science and God. That's totally true. Tuak, whatever your name is. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But yeah, you can totally dig science and God. I agree. Let's see. Yes, that is true. Fake science is the new church. They have turned big pharma science into a religion, which is completely a false religion. Do eggs feed viruses? Okay. I have been asked about eggs because apparently the medical medium said that all eggs are bad. I would not agree with that. I think that commercial eggs are really bad and they will feed viruses, but if you're getting good pastured eggs, you're going to be in good shape, okay? I do not, and I'm also not part of the raw movement that says all eggs are bad, that eggs are bad. I'm a Weston A. Price guy, just so you know, okay? Good, let's see. A lot of different opinions out there. I totally understand, but good. One more question. I will take one more question. Have I studied numerology? I have not studied numerology deep. I know some about it, but I have not studied it by itself. Okay, last question. Can I do a show on the Vatican? Sure, I could do that. Okay. Last questions. You guys are just popping in so many good questions, so I don't dare to take it off. Thoughts on the pastor's dreams? The pastor's dreams. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it at all. Let's see. Laura said she tested not good for egg whites through muscle testing. Now, that does not mean you can't have them. That also might mean your gut is not working correctly. Because I am a personal individual who, as a physician, I find that people are not actually sensitive to foods in general. The problem is their gut is not working. If you fix the gut, the food allergies go away. That's what I've experienced, okay? Carnivore directly fixed my sleep, Jacqueline. Very well done. I love carnivore, and yes, carnivore did wonders in my life from a health standpoint. So I agree. Thank you for that. Perfect. Okay. One more at this time. Okay, one more. I'll answer this. This is my last answer. Keep asking though. We'll get to them if we can. What happens at Mount Rushmore? Well, I hope that nothing happens. I hope that it's just a great event. That would be, I hope it just goes well. That's what I hope, right? Nothing goes bad. Now, Christmas Day, I hope that JFK Jr. shows up. I don't think that's going to happen, though, on July 4th. I think that would come later. What I don't want to happen, what I've heard is going to happen, I've heard possibly that either Mount Rushmore is blown up or some sort of false flag, or the Yellowstone volcano blows. Those are the two rumors I've heard. I don't have any evidence to back those up, but I heard that possibly false flags. I am hoping that is not what happens, okay? How do I help rheumatoid arthritis? I help the spleen, and I get you off sugar. That's how I help rheumatoid arthritis. You got to feed the spleen. The spleen is mad usually, and the liver. Okay, good. All right, guys. I appreciate all of your support, as always. So go to patriotgiveaway.com to enter the contest to get free stuff. And then go to noblepatriot.health if you want to work with me. And I'm happy to do it, okay? Guys, you have an amazing evening. Go out, as always. Help somebody. Serve somebody. Be great. Prepare. Plan. Be competent. Whatever you do. And let's go save the Republic. Restore the Republic. And make an amazing planet. Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Be blessed.